for Ian. What a sweetheart. And to you, fine people who did not go out of town for the 4th of July. Thank you so much for staying in the city. I'm Zach, but I go by what the kids in middle school called me, faggot. They were bullies and prophets. They knew before I did. I know how to deal with bullies, though. I went into a gay bar recently and a guy yelled at me, "Nice Nazi youth haircut." To which I responded, "Youth." Old enough to be an adult one. I grew up in the South. Is anybody from the South here tonight? Oh, a couple Southerners. Yes, amazing. That means two things: that we love ranch dressing and our parents are racist. So that's the reality we're living with. They're not racist, they just didn't like Obama and can't quite put their finger on why. Why they didn't like him. My mom and dad, I love them very much. We do disagree politically on quite a bit, as you might expect. I'm also a bit of a stirrer, so the new way I measure success is if I can get my dad to leave the family text thread. Like, that's success. So a few months back, I started up a text like, "Hey guys, how do we feel about the NFL?" "Oh, we're boycotting it." That's my dad. "Oh yeah, they're disgracing our troops." To which I respond like, "Oh, Dad, I think Kaepernick taking a knee is just using his platform to bring awareness to a real racial imbalance in this country." Dad leaves the family text thread. Or a couple months ago, I started up a thread. I was like, "Oh my God, you guys hear about the shooting at Parkland?" And my dad was like, "Oh, we need to arm our teachers with guns." And he knows I lost someone at Virginia Tech. But he's like, "Oh yeah, teachers need gun to protect students." And here I didn't want to educate them. I wanted to play their character harder than they play it. So I texted back, "Well, guns don't kill people. Guns, people, people, people." I want to live in a world with only guns. That way no one dies. Gun, fun gun, run gun, ton gun. Dad leaves the family. Just left it in a flurry. My mom, I get along with my mom fairly well. She's a very sympathetic character. She's also very sassy. She's, this will tell you who she is. She's a Red Lobster server of over 30 years. It takes a certain type of person to be that committed to a brand. You get on your 20th anniversary this plaque of a ship on rocky waters, and it hangs in our home, and she cried when she got it. It was a beautiful thing. And if you had her as a server, you will remember her because she made sure she tipped. Servers in South Carolina only make $2.13 an hour. She makes sure people leave her money. My favorite story is when a Four Top once came in and they ran her ragged. They wanted extra margaritas, they wanted extra ranch, and she knew she wasn't going to get tipped. And sure enough, she got stiffed, and the woman asked "Oh, could I have some ranch to go?" And people who ask for ranch to go need it. So my mom says sure, and she goes and she brings it back to her. And my mom starts laughing as she recounts this to me. And I'm like, "What's so funny, Mom?" And she's still laughing. And I'm like, "What, Mom? Tell me what's so funny." And my mom says, "She got blue cheese." Which is some sniper level, long con, CIA level stuff. Because later that night, Cynthia or Janet is clinging to her boyfriend's bicep, and they stumble back to their timeshare that they rented to save their relationship. And she tries to make love with Brad, but he's got limp dick from the drinks earlier, so she steals away to the kitchen. And she makes her way to the refrigerator, and she pulls out that sleeve of Cheddar Bay biscuits. And she disregards the preheating instructions, grabs one of them, dips it in the familiar ranch sauce of her youth, she thinks, but instead she's greeted by the rancy, sour, disgusting flavor of Ranch's ugly stepsister. And she spits it out on the linoleum, cocks her head back, and howls at the Myrtle Beach moon. "That bitch gave me blue cheese!" And that's my mom. That's my mom. Can we cut my mic up? I just love hearing my own voice really loud. Is that? Yes. Hello, everyone! Oh, there he is. That's my mom. And that's my dad. So she believes homosexuality is a sin, and she loves me. And that, to me, is a sympathetic character, because she has to, we're walking that tightrope of how much of my life I share with her and how much I don't. I'll text her "Hey, I had trouble dating in New York," and she'll say, "You should try a different department." which means women. So I did just that. I went to the Uniqlo women's department and I got a top that makes me feel brave, and now we haven't looked back since. Thank you. I've been in New York a little over a year now. It's a stressful town. It can be stressful. So I downloaded one of those meditation apps, Grindr, and keeps me centered. No. We all know Grindr. We might have some users here. Yes, it's a sex video game. It is. The coins are blowjobs, and instead of extra lives, we get the gradual decay of our physical form until we're abandoned by the community we helped build. Doesn't fit in the App Store description what that was. Grindr, I think, brings out the worst in gay men, as so often technology does. Welcome. This one's for you. The actual transcript from a Grindr conversation. Hey. How hungry's your hole? I noticed you're from the South too. I want to shoot my load on 3 bottoms, minimum, lined up like pigs at a trough. Have a great day. And those are just my lines on Grindr, so I know other people are being naughty. I said those bad things. That was a little twist for you guys. Didn't see it coming. Grindr, man, you can't delete Grindr either. It just becomes other apps. Like now on Facebook Messenger, I get unsolicited butthole videos. Like that's where those come from. We do need to have a summit on butthole videos just for a moment. So do we have any like breeders in the audience? You probably don't understand this. Straight people, yes. So in the gay culture and the gay community, given the rise of recent technology and the ability of people to take high definition videos of any part of their body and send it via large distribution platforms, you can receive a close-up video of a butthole opening and closing, and opening and closing, like a throbbing heart, without anything else, without warning. And this to me is, like, call me old-fashioned, but I need a little context. Like, I want to see a cheek or like the general frame of a human, dare I say like a face. Part of me wants to like dub a movie over it. I'll never let go, or something. I don't know. Maybe a gay movie. I haven't really thought about that much. But these are being like sent at this very moment over your heads in cyberspace, our butthole videos. Like, and that's beautiful and disgusting. I just don't. I don't understand the logistics of how these come to be, because you've got your like independent films. That's where you're just like alone in your room with your iPhone and you're just like trying to figure out how to like do it. And then you've got collaborative features. And that's the real test of a friendship. Not like, are you gonna be there for me when my cat dies or come to my improv show, but are you gonna come over on a Saturday at 2 o'clock when the lighting's just right, take my camera, because the file's gonna be too big and I have an iPhone 7, and videotape my butthole. Become the director of cinematography on my butthole video shoot. Like, that's friendship to me. That's true friendship. Do we have any friends in here? Maybe. It is hot, team. It is toasty in here, and I'm a sweater. This is a milestone for me as someone holding like a sweat rag on stage. I sweat like, you know that board game Don't Wake Daddy? Where you have to like tiptoe to not wake up Daddy? I feel like when it's warm outside, I have to like tiptoe to not waken up my sweat glands. And that's the reality that I'm living in. The technology is fucking up how we relate to other people in so many ways. My roommate had a friend over and she was telling me about some girl she's messaging in Amsterdam, and they've been flirting and they just like check in the morning and then they check in at night and they just send this like back and forth, and that's like a Tamagotchi to me. You're just like checking in on this relationship, and like we did not have that like hundreds of years ago. We didn't have any sense of what that was. How's everyone doing? good? All right. I have been dating in the city, and I'm getting ghosted, and I am strictly anti-ghosting. I don't know if we have any pro-ghosters in the room, but I am anti-ghosting. I was ghosted 3 times, and the first person literally just walked by outside earlier. So we meet, we hooked up, I waited 3 days, because the internet says you're supposed to wait 3 days, and I text him, like, thinking of you. Because I don't have any game. Like, I just gotten out of a relationship. Like, I don't know how to text anyone other than my soulmate. And then he ghosted me. It was silence. It was like we were like remembering a school shooting. It was so quiet. And then a week later, I hooked up with another guy, and we had some shared friends, so it was a little bit of accountability, not the anonymity that usually leads to people being truly awful to each other. And he ghosted me too, so I texted him also 3 days later, like, just thinking of you, because I do not learn from my mistakes. And it was silent, like a trapeze artist was about to hurt themselves. Like, I followed up a minute later with, like, your booty asterisk, in order to imply that I had meant just thinking of your booty. And he didn't ghost me then, but he liked that message. He liked a message like, that wasn't a possible thing in Moses' time, but now this person can do that, and that's, to me, like, that is the word. It's literally tapping out of the conversation. Like, don't tap, bye-bye, heart, or like, or whatever platform you're on. And then the last ghost story is the worst ghost story, because I told him beforehand that I do not like being ghosted. And then we hooked up, and I texted him the next day, because I'm not afraid of getting ghosted. Hey, because I got mad game now, y'all, and I said, hey. And then he doesn't ghost me, he texts me immediately. He texts me an emoji, he texts 3 so that they stay big. He texts me 3 ghost emojis. I got ghost emoji'd! And it's disgusting, and he walks amongst us now. He very well may be here tonight. I didn't check the guest list beforehand. Yes, so don't ghost him. The look of horror on this kind young man's face. Oh, it's true. Don't be awful to people. In New York, a man woke me up at 3 a.m. and kicked me out. And no one did that in Chicago, where I moved from. Everyone let you stay the night there. This, because I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, but I was dumped on a plane. Was told I no longer love you while federal regulation required me to stay next to that person. So I'll paint the scene for you. My soulmate at the time and I are in Europe. We're at the Museum of Sex, actually. And I notice him delete a text message, which is never a good sign. And I asked, like, oh, what was that, honey? And he says, oh, it was a Pizza Text Club coupon. We were at the time proud members of the Pizza Text Coupon Club in our local area, and as a proud Pizza Text Club owner and member, I knew that these texts were sent on Fridays, and this was a Tuesday in Amsterdam, so I knew I had been lied to. And turns out he was texting some guy that he met while canvassing for Hillary, and then I cried a lot, and we sort of decided, like, it would be okay. Like, we're gonna make this work. He hadn't done anything yet, you know. I'd like to believe I don't allow infidelity, but you have those discussions when they happen. And so, a couple days later, we're boarding the plane, and the trip hadn't been perfect, but, like, fighting in Europe is just what couples do while they're there. Like, you perform your hatred of your partner in a language people don't speak. Like, that's just how you navigate Europe. But when I got on the plane, his energy changed. Like, as you might imagine, I was firing off some, like, hot takes, like jokes about the altitude, the food. Like, you can only imagine what a joy I am to travel with. And I was getting nothing from him. The cold shoulder from my ex-one true love. And so I asked him on the flight, like, are we gonna break up? Probably. Which is not an appropriate answer to that question. That's an appropriate answer to, like, am I going to eat in bed later? Probably. Not like, do you want to spend your life with me? So I cried, as you might expect, and it was not a sexy cry. No, like a single tear, like, goes down your cheek. It was one of those cries that, like, tries to kill you because you can't breathe that well. Like, it sounds like what are those creatures? Not a seagull, a seal. Like a seal is giving a stillbirth. Or like a man with a very large penis is like blocking your windpipe. Or like a homophobe is strangling you. You may have heard it. It's like kind of sounds like a friend of mine's laugh. I won't tell him that. And so I'm doing this on the plane, and people are like looking and seeing and experiencing this pain with me. And the plane ultimately lands, and I go back to our home, and I move out, and we sort the forks. Whose fork belongs to who? It's this whole thing. And then I move to New York. I'm here with you fine people in this Too Hot theater. Like, it all ends nicely. But I have had a chance to reflect, and there are like pros to this story. Like, I am glad I was dumped on a plane. Like, yes, I was in a 3-year relationship that suffocated me and turned me into a shell of what I once was, but I've had sex in Paris. Like, do you know who I am? Oh my goodness. And specific to the plane, like, yes, I was trapped next to him, but he was trapped too. And we had an 8-hour transatlantic timeout in order to like hash out some things. And the place I was dumped hasn't been ruined, right? Like, it's just this boop spot over the Atlantic that I couldn't get back to if I tried. And that's better than getting dumped at like Starbucks or Denny's. 2 of my favorite brands. And then the last reason why getting dumped on a plane is good is someone who's afraid of flying, which means I'm afraid of dying while flying, because all of our fears are just fears of pain and death wrapped in different filters. As someone afraid of dying while flying, on this flight I wasn't scared. Because if I went down, so did that motherfucking snake on this motherfucking plane. And the plane didn't crash and I died. You can clap. This one person wanted to clap. I love clapping. It's like I just asked a good question at a talk back. Like, oh yes. I wonder what the racial implications of that were. Yes, good question. Summer is here. Any summer fans? Yes, I hate summer. Least favorite season. There we are. We're coming out. Yeah. As the waterfall starts to slowly descend for our remaining time together, we can appreciate how bad summer is. I sweat so much. I sweat like my crush just met my other crush, and they realize they're from the same hometown and have a lot in common. I sweat like a cute boy just texted me, so I text my friend, hey, that cute boy just texted me, but when I look at my phone, I've sent that text to the cute boy, which is not a thing you can do. You can't tell someone you think they're cute that early. It ruins everything. And I can't stand summer because of fucking street festivals. Do we have any street festival goers here? Okay, good, because you have to leave. Oh my heavens, I hate street festival. When have you, like, we discovered shelter, but let's build a 2-day Hooverville where you get sunburnt and spend too much on sangria. Like, why would that ever exist? When have you been in a store and been like, oh, this is nice, I'm enjoying the AC, having a good, like, brand experience. Oh, let's put this in a crosswalk. Like, why would that make the thing better? And in summer, in the winter, everyone stays in their places. In the summer, everyone is in my way. Like, there are just too many people. And the stakes are too high in this season. Like, if you have a bad winter, that's on you. If you have a bad summer, oh, sorry, I did it wrong. It doesn't work. If you have a bad winter, it's on winter. Now you feel to blame. Said the opposite. And what we're going to do next time? Try our best. Yes, thank you. Try your best. What's your name? Drew! Nice to meet you, Drew. That's a great name. Are you an artist?
No.
Okay. What do you do? Are you a student?
Yeah.
Nice. What do you study?
Computer science.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That's the future. Yeah. I've heard good things. What, you want to code and stuff?
Yeah.
What made you pick that?
Just like it. I was good at it.
Hell yeah. Are those related?
Yeah.
Liking it and being good at it? Yeah. If we didn't like something and we're bad at it, would we do it? No? What a crazy world we live in. I do think about that in academia. Like, there are topics that aren't being studied because no one's interested in them. They might be very important, but no one's interested in them. All right, thanks for talking to me. Sorry to pick on you. But I wasn't really picking, I guess. Oh man, summer. I lost some weight, so that's nice because summer's all about what you look like as a season as a whole. I went on the Whole30 diet. Has anyone done that diet before? It shows you guys. No, I'm just kidding. That was terrible. Something happens on the diet around like the second or third week where you just start feeling better than everyone around you, and that settles in and it just rides you through. And the best part about, I didn't set like a weight loss goal. I just wanted to lose enough weight to be loved by a man. It's the goal I set for myself. And there was a moment when like gay men started to pay attention to me. So you're all very superficial, and those are the hot takes we have tonight. Gay men are superficial, and computer science is the future. Take notes, friends. Take notes. I bounced back from my breakup. Like a month and a half ago, I became confident. It came out of nowhere. I just started to like love myself. I'm gonna be 30 in a week, or as I like to call it, 20-something, but the something is a decade. That's like a fun name I have for 30. And it's been nice, and it kind of started with how I got over this breakup. So while we were together, I was hired to work on a cruise ship, which is a manifestation of the lyric "A Nightmare Wrapped in a Daydream." And I was gonna be gone for 4 months, and I was a good partner, so I wanted to make sure he was taken care of. So naturally, I purchased a Create a Willy kit, which is an at-home DIY kit to make a replica mold of one's penis. So the kit arrives, and it's like a high school science fair. You got your like graduated cylinder, and you put this like mixture in it, and then you have to put your erect penis in it for 2 minutes. And I have trouble lasting 2 minutes when I'm not in wet sludge, so that was a challenge. And then you remove it, and then you've got this negative space that you put the liquid in, and the vibrator. You sit it overnight, you set it, and forget it! Thank you, corporate drones! Yes, we've been indoctrinated. And so I give it to him, and while I'm on the cruise ship, I ask him, like, oh, did you have a chance to use it? What'd you think? And he said, it was okay. Oh. So that's like my sex review. That's what sex with me is like. You're all like, I think that's why it didn't work out. The signs are clear. That's a fun voice for all of you together. I enjoyed the show. It was a little warm. I sweat a lot. The first guy was funny. I preferred the second guy. It was a good show, though. Everybody wore khaki shorts. Thank God. I almost wore black jeans. I would be just like a salt lick up here. But as I mentioned, that relationship dissolved. And so I was moving out, and the internet said if something was a gift, they keep it, so he kept the couch. But it felt weird, the gift of my penis, for him to keep that. Like, that felt wrong. So I took it, goddammit, and I went to my bachelor pad, and I put it right next to my electric toothbrush in my bathroom. And so every morning I saw my erect penis, and it felt empowering, and I understand why statues exist now. Because it's so nice to see just like you represented back in this immortal way. Oh, and I loved it. And then I went on a date with a guy, and it was too soon, made me cry. And I went on another date, and that was too soon. I like still haven't recovered yet. And I took a good long look in my bathroom mirror. And I don't know where good ideas come from. Like, do we originate them, or are we just vessels and they're in the zeitgeist above us? But I looked in the mirror and decided I was gonna rebound with the most important man in my life. And so on Christmas Eve day, in the year of our Lord 2016, I laid a towel on my bed, put on some music, turned on a pornographic film, put some lube on my penis, and put some lube on my other penis. And I made love to myself with myself. And I don't kiss and tell, but I will say it was okay. It was okay. I was fine. I'm a better top than a bottom, I think. For Pride, I was at a straight wedding, which is the appropriate way to celebrate Pride. Yes, I was in a barn in Vermont. listening to Uptown Funk multiple times. That's how I cried. I don't know about you guys. I do. I cry at weddings. I mean, there's that moment when like the bride and the groom lock eyes and everyone's crying together, and I'm crying and I'm like, I'll never know love like that. And everyone else is crying like the bride's beautiful. But you like, tears look the same. Like you can't tell what someone's crying about. That's the beautiful thing about that. And what the tricky thing about weddings, you've got your like Friday drinks, Saturday ceremony reception, Sunday brunch, and Friday drinks are always like an unknown. Like it's very unclear. This one was at 8 o'clock and I like wasn't sure how much food there was gonna be. And I was on this diet and I was like, we have to just commit. We're in Vermont, it's like a rural area. I'm gonna eat whatever they have. And I get up there and they've got like little pizza buffet. Pizza, great. It's like the Tom Hanks of appetizers, universally loved. Like it's great. So I like go up and I like get one piece of pizza and I'm like, ooh, what's this? Oh, I've never had pizza before. I'm like, everyone's very like shy when the food first comes in. And I go back a little later, I'm like, oh, I'll have another piece of pizza. And then the thing about food at a wedding, much like life itself, it can be snatched away in an instant, like in the blink of an eye, like a thief in the night. And I go back to the table and the pizza's gone. And I need at least 3 or 4 more pieces before I'm full. So I start like worrying. I go into like starvation mode. And I'm like looking around for potential food, and out of the corner of my eye, I spot this small plate with an abandoned slice of pizza on it. And the scholars disagree on whether a bite had been taken out of it already or not. So like it wasn't immediate clear there was a bite taken out of it. And I would like to believe, like the way I was raised and societal taboos, like I at least like cut that edge off. But no, I shoved the whole thing in my mouth and it was the most delicious piece of pizza I've ever had in my life. And you might think this is like disgusting, but I've thought about it, and that bite was taken by someone else in the wedding party, like there to celebrate this straight love also. And in that moment when I ate it, I was communing with them, and I like saw him and his hopes and dreams, and like an avatar when the hair touches, like I saw who he was. And like society may think it's disgusting, but we like shared that like secret forbidden bond. And isn't that what pride is all about? Like that's how I pride. I'm proud of that. It is toasty, team. It's warm. I can feel it. I'm with you. Like I bond with you. A selfie moment. Are we getting tagged? Yes, yes.
A photo of you.
Oh, that's so. Oh, that's what I meant. I'm sorry. That's sweet of you. What a guy. What a good. I'm getting lit. Oh, should I leave? Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Do you want to make like an Instagram story and tag me so your friends know you're having fun?
Yeah, well.
Maybe she will. Maybe she won't. We'll talk about it. Oh, we're hanging out after. Stranger in the audience. I do stand up to find a husband. Like that's why we're here. I just air all my emotional baggage and like see who comes up after. That's what I'm doing. Comedians usually end with their biggest joke. I'm gonna end with a joke that does not work. This joke does not work. This joke does not work. It does not work. You've been warned. It does not work. I was at a gay wedding recently in Las Vegas, because my friends are trash. And they had a beautiful ceremony, and then the reception was in their hotel room. So it was like high up, we had these gorgeous windows, like a view of the city, there were drinks, there were apps, and I was asked to be the best man, so I got to give a speech. And like most people live their lives, like contribute to society and the GDP, and then you're asked to give a wedding speech and you like collapse. And I, on the other hand, am just like constantly collapsed as a person, and then when asked to give a wedding speech, I'm like, whoop, I'm here for that. Like, literally been training my whole life to give a good wedding speech. So I felt, particularly cocky, and I slayed. Like, it was good. People were laughing. I like roasted my best friend. Like, I toasted the couple. It was like, all in all, a great show. Or speech show. I viewed it as a performance. I did. And then 2 weeks later, in the same exact room of the Mandalay Bay, a man, very angry, bitter man, came there and rented the room and opened up his assault rifles and knocked the windows out and inflicted terror on the people down below and murdered 63 people And the media came and they told the stories of the dead, and they analyzed the killer, and they told the stories of the politicians and their empty thoughts and prayers, and they tried to put a nice button on it and a story. But I just want the record to reflect that I killed in that room first. It doesn't work! The joke does not work! The joke does not work. The joke does not work. The joke does not work. I shouldn't even tell it the joke doesn't work. The joke doesn't work. But the joke could work. The joke could work. The joke could work. Jokes are set up in punchline. And the setup is usually like grounded in reality, and the punchline's a surprise, either in reality or non-reality. And here, the reality of the setup is so bleak that a shitty pun can't outweigh that. It doesn't resolve that. Like, it's too heavy of a thing. Like, if it had been an Elvis impersonator was killed by a Britney Spears impersonator in that room, then the joke works, right? It's a shitty pun, but like, the joke works. The joke works. So, team, I need your help to make the joke work. We need to create a reality where that does not happen. We need to push our legislature to pass common sense gun reform, to ban bump stocks, to ban assault rifles, to have universal background checks. We need better mental health care so that people don't express their anger and rage in those ways. We need to do all of those things. We need to do those things so that all of this like life that I've gotten to live, and this like confidence I have now, and the sex I've had, and the relationship with my parents that I've had since I was 18, like, my friend at Virginia Tech didn't get any of that. Like, he doesn't get to live his life because we haven't created a world where he had the chance to. And that's my like hope and wish, because the only time a guy should be shooting at multiple people in a hotel room is when there's 3 bottoms minimum lined up like pigs at a trough. Thank you guys. I'm Zimmerman.